You have probably spent hours digging into the side of a mountain just to make a home. You hollowed it out, blocked the entrance, maybe lit a fire inside, and somewhere in the back of your mind it felt oddly satisfying. Not because it was a good strategy, because it felt familiar, because your ancestors actually did this. And the game you think you invented was already played out by real human beings, in real dirt, with real hands, hundreds of thousands of years ago. That feeling you get when you finally seal yourself in for the night. That is not a gaming instinct. That is a survival memory so old it is embedded in your biology. Here's what almost nobody talks about. The behaviors that make Minecraft compelling are not random. The game did not invent them. It reverse-engineered them directly from the deep history of what human beings actually did to stay alive. Archaeologist Nicholas Connard at the University of Tübingen has spent decades excavating cave sites across Europe and southwestern Germany. What he found inside those caves was not just bones and tools. It was structure. It was intentionality. It was something that looked, with uncomfortable precision, like a base camp. Your ancestors did not live in open fields. They did not sleep under stars by choice. They found holes in the earth and they went inside them. And they made those holes into something that resembled home. The Swabian Jura caves in Germany date back at least 40,000 years. Some occupation evidence pushing further still. Inside those caves, researchers found sleeping areas separated from tool-making zones. They found hearths positioned near the entrance, where smoke could escape but warmth could stay. They found evidence that certain spots were used over and over across generations. The same cave, the same fire pit location, the same internal geography, maintained and passed down like a blueprint. Sound familiar? You do the same thing every time you open a new world. You find a hill. You start digging. You build a door. You place a torch. You create zones. Sleeping here. Crafting there. Chest storage in the corner. You are not following a tutorial. You are following something much older. Now consider the resource gathering. In Minecraft, the first thing you do is punch a tree. You break down the raw materials of your environment and convert them into tools. Archaeologist Sayoshi Sima, the Stone Age Institute, has documented tool-making behavior going back at least 2.6 million years in Ethiopia. At a site called Gona, the tools found there are not complex. They are rocks. Rocks that were struck against other rocks to create a sharp edge that could then be used to process food, cut hide, build shelter. The logic is identical. Raw material plus effort equals tool equals survival. Your brain found Minecraft satisfying on the very first day you played it, before you even knew the rules. That is not coincidence. That is pattern recognition so deep it does not require instruction. But here is where it gets stranger. It is not just the shelter or the tools. It is the threat system. In Minecraft, the world becomes dangerous at night. During the day you explore, gather, build. When darkness falls, hostile creatures emerge and your exposed position becomes a liability. This is not a design quirk. This is a direct simulation of the actual predator-prey dynamics your ancestors navigated for most of human history. Paleoanthropologist Robert Foley at Cambridge has written extensively about the ecological pressures that shaped early human behavior. For the majority of human evolutionary history, your ancestors were not apex predators. They were mid-level prey animals. Leopards took them. Hyenas took them. Saber-toothed cats took them. The darkness was not metaphorically dangerous. It was literally dangerous. Because large predatory cats are crepuscular and nocturnal. Hunters and your ancestors had no fire and no walls and no weapons, so they went inside before dark. They blocked the entrance. They built the door. And you do too, every single time, without being told why. Now consider the crafting table. In the game, you cannot build advanced items without first constructing a crafting surface. You need a dedicated workspace. Archaeological evidence suggests your ancestors understood this completely. Excavations at Blombos Cave in South Africa, led by researcher Christopher Henshelwood, uncovered an ochre processing workshop dating back approximately 100,000 years. This was not a generalized living area. This was a specific, organized, intentional workspace. Different materials were stored separately. Tools for grinding were kept near the grinding stones. The spatial logic of a crafting table, a dedicated place where materials are transformed, was already present in the minds of human beings 100 millennia ago. You have been doing this your whole life without realizing it. Your desk, your kitchen counter, your workbench in the garage. You always create a transformation zone, a place where raw becomes processed, because that spatial logic is not a habit you learned. It is something you carry. And then there is the food loop. In Minecraft you plant crops, You tend them, you harvest, you eat. This sustains your health bar and lets you keep going. The actual transition from hunter-gatherer life to agricultural life happened approximately 12,000 years ago in a region archaeologists call the Fertile Crescent. But here is the counterintuitive part that the game actually gets right. Early farming was not easier than hunting. It was harder. It demanded more labor hours per calorie than foraging. Researchers like Jared Diamond have argued that agriculture was one of the worst mistakes in human history from a pure well-being standpoint. And yet something drove early humans to do it anyway. Something compulsive. Something about the loop itself felt correct. Plant it, tend it, harvest it, own it, store it. The satisfaction of the loop overrode the calculation of effort. Minecraft players know this feeling exactly. You do not need to farm. You can hunt. You can forage. But at some point in almost every survival game, players choose to build a farm. Not because it is optimal. Because the loop feels right. Because the loop is ancient. Here is the thing that should genuinely disturb you. The game came out in 2011. It sold hundreds of millions of copies. It became the best-selling video game in human history. And nobody fully explained why. The popular theory is that it gives people creative freedom. And yes, it does. But so do 100 other games that did not come close to that sales record. The actual reason Minecraft captured something fundamental is because it is not a game that teaches you how to survive. It is a game that reminds you of something your body already knows. Dig into the earth, build a fire, block the entrance before dark, gather materials, create tools, make a dedicated workspace, plant food, store resources, protect what is yours. You did not learn any of those instincts from Minecraft. Minecraft learned them from you. It learned them from 40,000 years of cave occupation in the Swabian Jura. It learned them from 2 million years of stone tool manufacture. Along the Gona River, it learned them from the ochre workshops. At Blombos Cave, it learned them from every ancestor who went inside before the sun went down and did not come out until morning. The next time you boot up a new world and immediately start looking for a hill to hollow out, notice what you feel. That small, specific satisfaction when the walls go up and the door goes in and the torchlight pushes back the dark. That is not you playing a game. That is 2 million years of survival logic firing exactly as designed. Your brain is not mimicking Minecraft. Minecraft is mimicking your brain. And the reason it feels like home is because it is. You have been building that shelter since before language existed. You just forgot you already knew how.